There is a point in life where striving exhausts us, where pushing harder only makes us feel further away from peace. We've planned, we've fought, we've held on so tightly, and yet something within us still feels unsettled, unfulfilled, and heavy. That moment, my friend, is not failure. That moment is the call of the soul asking you to do something radical, something most of us were never taught, to surrender. But let's be clear, surrender is not giving up. It is not throwing your hands in the air in defeat. Surrender is not weakness, it is divine strength. It is the moment you decide to stop trying to control what was never yours to control in the first place. It is the moment you lean into trust in God, trust in the universe, trust in the flow of life itself. When you surrender, you say, I may not know how this unfolds, but I trust that I am held. When you surrender, you whisper, I release what is not mine to carry, and I open myself to receive what is meant for me. And here is the paradox. The more you let go, the more life begins to align. The more you release control, the more control you actually gain, not over outcomes but over your own peace, your own energy, your own ability to stand steady in the storm. Surrender is the bridge between who you were and who you're becoming. But here is the truth, surrender alone is not enough. It must be married with self-reflection. Why? Because if you surrender without looking within, you risk turning surrender into avoidance. True spiritual growth requires both letting go and looking inward. Self-reflection is the sacred practice of pausing. It is the willingness to sit in stillness and ask, what am I clinging to and why? What fears drive me to hold on so tightly? Am I chasing something because it's aligned, or because I'm afraid to be still? What parts of me are ready to heal so that surrender doesn't feel like loss but freedom? Reflection is not self-punishment. It is not dwelling on your mistakes. It is about holding up the mirror of your soul and saying, I see you. I see where you've been. I see what you've carried. And I honor the lessons even as I release the pain. It's in reflection that you notice your patterns. You see the moments you've been repeating, cycles that no longer serve you. You recognize the stories you've been living under, stories of unworthiness, fear, or lack. And awareness is everything. Because once you see, you cannot unsee. And once you become aware, you gain the power to choose differently. So here is the alchemy of transformation. Surrender is the release. Reflection is the revelation. Together they create rebirth. Think about it. When you surrender, you free your hands from what they were clenching. When you reflect, you understand why you were holding it in the first place. And when those two forces work together, you rise lighter, clearer, and more aligned than you have ever been. The truth is, life is not meant to be controlled. It is meant to be experienced, trusted, and flowed with. The most powerful souls are not the ones who force but the ones who allow. The ones who trust deeply. The ones who know that surrender is not defeat, but partnership with the divine. So today I ask you, what would it feel like to release your tight grip? What would it feel like to lay down your burden? What would it feel like to trust again? And after you ask yourself that, take the time to reflect. What has this burden taught me? What has this struggle revealed about my strength, my growth, my soul? Because when you surrender and reflect, you don't lose, you gain. You gain peace. You gain clarity. You gain alignment with your highest self and the divine. Surrender is not the end of the road, it is the beginning of a higher one. Reflection is not a prison of the past, it is the key to your freedom in the present. Together, they are the sacred tools that lead you back to yourself, your true, limitless, radiant self. So let go. Look within. Trust deeply. And know this, when you surrender, you rise. When you reflect, you awaken. And when you embrace both, you step fully into your divine destiny. If you enjoyed this message, please send to someone you love, like, and subscribe. Stay aligned and highly favored.